Right, this was a question asked me by We On It a little while ago. Like I've been saying recently, I've been catching up on some of my old videos and questions that people ask. I kind of got a bit bogged down with lorries, trying to get a new truck and stuff like that. So he said, should you include the toll charges or should you add them on? Now, there is a thing on the CX where you can put it into two different compartments. So you can turn around and say, I am going to do the job for £50, plus it's going into the zone, so it's £12.50, so the job will then total up to £62.50. I don't like this way of working. I think basically, as a shipper, you just want to see one price. You just want to see it, and I don't get me wrong, I don't do the shipping side of thing. I'm still very much the courier driver, but you just want to see it on the screen. You quote without VAT because it actually says prices are quoted without VAT. If you don't charge them VAT, they don't pay it, they don't claim it. It makes no difference then either way. But you want to see the price in front of you. You can do it differently. You can knock it down. What I would prefer to do, if you have to like say, well, you know, I've done it before, whereas I've put it in the notes. The price is high because it's got a booking time of 2:30 and it's going to bottom me up for the day. Or the price is high because I'm Euro 5 and it's cost me £100 to drive past the camera. Once again, I don't find it makes a lot of difference because I don't think anybody cares. At the end of the day, they know how much money they've got on the job. They know how much they can get the job off for. Sorry, that was spider, I think. And so you just want to see the one price. So you need to be aware of your zone charges. So you've got to think quick, because sometimes you've got to get them quotes in quick. So you're going to think, right, okay, that one's going over to Barking. It's got the crossing on it, it's £3. Or you don't think, well, certain things, that doesn't really matter. Right, that one's going to Islington. Right, that one's going to be ULEZ, but not congestion, £15. So just work out what you would normally charge and then add the price on. And most of the time, those prices are going to come back a little bit higher, because even the mob in the Euro 6 that don't have to pay the charge have still had to pay for that motor in the first place, and you've got to recoup the money on the expensive van back somehow. So yeah, so know your charges, know all these zone charges that are coming up now, your Baths, your Bristols, your Birminghams, your Londons, and everything else that's coming way after it. Know your tolls and your bridges, know your ferries and stuff like that if you're going to go abroad. So know your charges, and then when you put the bid in, your brain automatically should calculate what they reckon it should be, and then you can just hit them with a one price and they're ready to go. If you do make a mistake, and the CX does make it easier for you in the fact that now if you have to quote, it often says in the top ULEZ, LEZ. I don't know how clever it is with all of them, but it is with some of them. If you make a mistake and you put it into your sat nav, you can call them back. You can go, so I made a bit of an error. And it has happened to us before. One guy turned around and he said, can you drop these off to Watford? And we went, fine. Our driver picks them up, he's driving them down. Gemma's looking at the job, he said, this is Kilburn, this isn't Watford. And you run the guy back, he said, well, they're not far apart, you should do it for the same money anyway. And Gemma went, no, I can't drive my truck into Kilburn, because if we drive our truck into Kilburn, it's going to cost us £780. In fairness, the guy, I don't know who he geezer was, we ended up having to drop it back at base and then getting another firm owner, a mate of mine, to pick it up and drop it in afterwards in his lorry, because he was like Euro 6 and like DVS compliant and stuff like that. So if it does come in and they've either quoted it wrong, or you realise afterwards there's a zone charge on it, you stuck it in ways and it comes up with ULEZ and you go, oh, I forgot ULEZ, you can ring them back. And then it's how you want to be. You can go, right, I made a mistake here, I didn't know it was ULEZ, I can't go in. They'll either scream at you, or they'll go, okay, don't worry mate, I'll repost it. Or you can say, you know how much you got in the job, is there any chance you can throw me a little bit more money, in which case I'll swallow a bit and you'll swallow a bit, and then between us we have to repost it and I can get the job done. It's not an exact science, but the short answer question is, would you put the charges on the job or would you put the charges on afterwards? I would say stick the charges on the job. That's the easiest way when you're out there trying to take care and take money.